Man, in this episode, man, we're going to be talking about the East Side legend, man. Icewear Vezzo, man, straight out of Detroit. Man, this dude done built a legacy, a name, and a brand straight out the mud, consistently hitting the city with back-to-back jams. He got features from lights like Juvenile, G Herbo, man, we could keep going. But one thing we don't keep going about is how this man built the empire out of nothing. Now, growing up on the east side of Detroit, man, and actually not too far away from Vezzo Hood, well, our hood's kind of intertangled with each other. I'm from 6 Mile, but 6 Mile and Hayes over there by Gratiot. My grandma stayed on Gratiot and Wilford. Went to Osborne, he went to Osborne, so a couple of my homies, they ran with him and all that type of stuff. But long story short, we ain't gonna go into all that. We gonna go into how he built the legacy and how he became a voice of Detroit. And how you put that leg work in, man. The shit was not easy, man. Just watching him start out, man. When he had the little bitty dreads, man. He was always shooting his videos over by Gratiot or over at the gas station or over at the Coney. So you was able to see the authenticity inside of his music that he was rapping, but also cause like you see him in the hood, like for real, like so. That right there was helping him build his credibility, but he stayed consistent. And another thing he did was he built a team around him. Now, during this time, like when he was first popping out, man, like Doughboy Cash Out, a rap group from the west side of Detroit, they was getting a lot of, a lot of fame, a lot of name, just due to, like, they had a song that went viral, Our Dog Hoes. And then Jeezy came to the city to sign them and basically put them on, and they start getting, national recognition. But throughout this whole time, Icewear Vezzo, Team Eastside, Peasy, all them dudes was bubbling. But the Eastside was more gutter, and the Eastside had less of a foundation when it came to music. So that's why, long story short, that's why I really want to make this podcast known, because he helped build and bring back that empowerment to the voices on the east side of Detroit, And, granted, he had a few run-ins with Doughboy Cash Out. We ain't going to really shed too much light on that, because we ain't trying to shed too much light on negativity. We want to talk about the positive aspects of, everything that was going on. But during this time, though, but just in the midst of all that, people see that, he was serious. And, in the city of Detroit, man, you can't just rap that shit. You got to live that shit. So when people see him, making these moves and see him around the city and they see him coming up, you can relate that to the music that he was putting out. And one thing about him, and just one thing for certain, he always stayed loyal to where he was from, And as far as when I see him, just see him on social media and he's doing his music videos, even when he out of state, he's always putting on for the city of Detroit. Now, he had a few run-in with the law, which he had to sit down a little bit for. But then right after he sat down, he hit the gate. Once he got out, he hit the ground running. Signing with Motown, releasing his own sneaker that was sold out. Doing back-to-back collabs with, big name artists. Like one of his big songs that he just had that just came out with Vezzo. I said with Vezzo, but with G Herbo, and also doing collaborations with Big Sean, which was real big for the city. As y'all know, Big Sean is a global icon, but just having that pull and that networking system to be able to, do a collab track with Big Sean was also real big. But going back into his movement and what he built, just basically going back into once he was released, man, you don't never know how artist's mindset it be, because on the outside looking in, you don't necessarily know what they was really going through. You feel me? Was he gonna come back home? Was he gonna be fucked up? Was he gonna come back home, institutionalized or some dumb shit? Or was he just gonna come back home and I gotta finish what I started? And what I mean what I started was, because I just remember being in the city, the dude was doing commercials. Literally doing jingle commercials for businesses around the city. So you wasn't just hearing his rap music, you was hearing him rapping about different businesses and, just doing different advertisements. And that's what I mean, like, as far as the business and what he meant to Detroit, because he had a different outlook on things. He basically created a brand, but created a sound and created a voice. Now, ends, which means eating in the streets, we all about being the voice of the culture. And we shed lights on those voices that empower other voices around them. So in the midst of me seeing Vezzo do this even opened up my eyes to things. I start thinking like, damn, I never seen a Detroit artist like really like you hear like the little rap, little jingles, little commercials that come on the radios and all that type of stuff. But this is coming from an artist that really came from the mud, that really came from the hood, that's really from 6 Mile. You feel me? Like, and he's basically he's being a businessman. You feel me? His voice, he using his voice to like basically open up new doors, you feel me? And on top of that, let's shed light on him actually being a businessman, running a few businesses, establishing and opening a few businesses around the city on the east side to help, bring back, that economical growth to the hood. We always hear rappers rapping about how much drugs they sold, but you feel me? Y'all ain't really shedding light on how they, flipped that and made something out of that. You feel me? And the reason why I respect it so much because he's still in the city. You feel me? He's still accessible to the city. So the moves he make, it's not like he making the money and he just ran to like California or something. You feel me? Like he made his money and he was still in the city and he was still investing the money into those around him. Now, and part of investing that money into those around him, he was able to build a record label. Now, when you think about these type of things, like most dudes, once they get signed, man, you got to get the record label to clear this, they got to clear that, they choosing who you get to feature with and all this type of stuff. Dudes stay solid, like as you see, like championships, man, the championships, that's my shit. I ain't gonna lie, championships is my shit. We'll do a music review on that song, coming up soon. But championships that he had with Babyface Ray, who's also, he also is a well-known Detroit music artist. But it's just that talent pool that he always been collabing with East Side artists. But on top of collabing with East Side artists, him being a bigger name, he helped to shed the light to the other artists and help put them on money plays. Coming from a city like Detroit, where it's like every man for themselves, man, it's either get 8, somebody that's in position and that's helping putting other people in position to where they could put other people in position, it's grand. And that's how you really build a solid team, a solid camp. And just going more into that, just the brand that he built, just starting from Clarity 1 to Clarity 4 to, I mean, like, you feel me? Like, Clarity was a story, but then if you think about the name Clarity, I would just mirror him, like, when I was, man, just starting out on the grind, I used to be out of state. Man, I used to be playing Vezzo, you feel me? We ain't never going broke no more. I ain't never going broke no more. What? You feel me? Going broke too easy. You feel me? Like he was just saying just some real stuff. Like he was just like, fuck y'all thinking. Like I'ma wait my whole life just waiting on a nigga to feed me. Bitch, I feed me. Green guys. Bitch, my team eat. The landlord. Bitch, I'm team East. You feel me? So, like that's what I was saying. Like in the lyrics that he was saying, then you see what he's doing. The moves that he was making made me being, a fellow East Sider from the from 6 Mile, from the East Side. You feel me? And just growing up around them parts, like hell yeah, like you feel me? I'm seeing somebody that's making it. You feel me? And he really making it out the mud. You feel me? And his story is like one of them grand stories. And if you're not really too big on hood flicks in Detroit, he also was featured in a few Detroit hood flicks, which is known around the country. Like we gonna say that for another podcast episode too. But as far as 211 with him and Murder Pain, he had a little cameo when he came in as the cousin, as the brother of one of the actors, baby moms. And, he just got out of jail. They hungry, looking for a lick. He just had like a little cameo. I'm just showing, just within the city though. Like, this wasn't on no box office, but you can go download it or watch it on YouTube and stuff like that. And what I mean by download it, because, you can pay for it. Go pay for it, man. Put some money in the man's pockets. But long story short, like, yeah, like he was doing stuff like that, like in the city. You feel me? Like we talking about making movies, owning businesses, doing commercials, making music, building clothing brands, being an ambassador of the city, and basically just being a voice for those on the east side that came up how he came. You feel me? That walked them streets that he walked. You feel me? Like shit, I was always over there on Gratiot and Wilford, you know, cause that's where my grandma stayed at, and then I stayed on Young and Hayes. You know, just going from Columbus to Osborne, you feel me? Them is like, you know, two different hoods, but at the same time, you know, we touched on that in the old episode when we was talking about, you know, just my experiences with playing for the Osborne Knights. But it's just that, you know, you walking through those different hoods, you meet so many different people and all that type of stuff, man, and it's like, for him to be able to, you know, bring everybody together. I ain't gonna say it was just him, you know, because it was other pieces in play, but him to be that voice, be that leader, and be that face. You feel me? To be that face of the movement and really be consistent and keep going with it. You know, during that time, you feel me? A lot of groups came and left. Music artists came and left. And what I mean came and left, like they was popping for a little minute. Year later, you feel me? They kind of, you know, in the background again. He stayed consistent. He was putting in that hard work even after being locked up. You know, he came back out, hit the ground running, and just really just finished to solidify his name in the city and just solidifying his brand and just who he is. So then that's why in this episode, man, we want to shed light and we just want to really check in with y'all to see, do y'all know who Vezzo is, Icewear Vezzo, and is y'all familiar with the music and the movement that he's building in the city of Detroit? I want y'all to comment, you know, like, subscribe, leave us a voice message. We want to hear from y'all, man. For real. We want to hear from y'all. And yeah, man, and let's just keep this conversation going, man. It's another few artists that we're gonna be mentioning too, who also been, you feel me, carrying the torch for the city. You feel me? Who's been doing their thing. But this episode, man, was about Icewear Vezzo, man. Shout out to the Team East Side, man. Shout out to the East Side of Detroit, man. Shout out to 6 Mile, man. Shout out to everybody in the city, man, that's trying to make a way out and trying to use their voice, you feel me, to empower and enlighten, you feel me, their story and what's going on in their life, you feel me? This your boy Bazz. Y'all tune in to Ends Podcast. You already know what I'm about to say. We out. Tune in, subscribe, my baby.